In the Impact segment tonight, how will congressional Democrats deal with President Trump? Congressmen like Luis Gutierrez of Illinois may be giving a hostile preview.
I'm not going to this inauguration. I can't go to this inauguration because he continues to spew hatred, bigotry, and prejudice. Even after he said he was going to bring us all together, he was going to unify, but he's not. He continues to spew this kind of just hatred.
Joining us now with reaction, Delaware Democratic Senator Chris Coons. Let's start with those comments from Congressman Gutierrez. First of all, do you think that's appropriate? Do you think many Democrats will boycott Trump's inauguration, and will you?
Well, Chris, I'm planning to go to the inauguration. I think regardless of how you feel about the election or who won, we owe it to our nation and to the world to show that we're going to participate in the orderly, peaceful, regular transition of power that has happened every 4 years throughout the entire history of our republic. I think this is an important moment for us to show our country and the world that democracy works, that we embrace the outcome of the election and the chance to work together across the aisle. I choose to follow what I think has been the example of both President-elect Trump in his victory speech on the night of the election, and then President Obama and Secretary Clinton in saying we all look for President-elect Trump to be successful.
Well, I applaud you for your consistency, but not all of your fellow Democrats are being so consistent. And, you know, when I remember I was the moderator of the third debate, and I asked Mr. Trump whether he would recognize the results of the election. He said, I'm going to keep you in suspense. Hillary Clinton said that was horrifying. People, Democrats, liberals, said they were horrified about citing the principle of the peaceful transfer of power. Now, though, that it's Trump who's the president, not all of them are sticking to that principle.
Well, I think what concerned folks in that debate with that I'll keep you in suspense was the possibility that Trump, if he were unsuccessful in the election, would contest it, not through legal, orderly means, but would refuse to accept it.
But now you've got the Green Party calling for recounts in 3 states, the Clinton campaign saying they're going to participate. Isn't this hypocrisy?
Well, I think what's different there, what's distinguishable, is that Jill Stein, who's the presidential candidate of the Green Party, let's be clear, is following a legal process to file contests against those 3 states' elections and asking for a recount. That's quite different from saying you refuse to accept the outcome. Speaking for myself, I accept the outcome of the election. I think it's clear that Secretary Clinton won the popular vote and that Donald Trump won the Electoral College, and he's going to be our next president. And I think we need to move forward past this election.
What do you think of moving forward? What do you think of the Trump agenda as he's laid it out so far, especially at that Carrier event yesterday in Indiana, on this issue of really being tough on companies leaving the United States?
Well, there's been some criticism of that. I think the editorial board of the Wall Street Journal said from a sort of a conservative economic policy perspective that they don't want the president jawboning specific companies. But I'll tell you, if I had family that were working at that Carrier plant, I'd be pleased that their jobs were, for now, saved. What I'd like to see is us coming up with a concrete bipartisan agenda for strengthening manufacturing in the United States. And if we focus on improving infrastructure and improving the skills of our workforce and making our country a more attractive place for investment, I think there's a chance we can grow manufacturing employment in this country.
One more issue. What do you think of the choice of retired General James Mattis for Secretary of Defense? Will you vote to give him the waiver because he has not been out of the military for 7 years? Will you vote to confirm?
Well, I was very encouraged by his nomination. I've talked to a number of friends who are Marine Corps veterans who know him from service and who've said very positive things about him as someone who reads a great deal, who served more than 4 decades in the Marine Corps and has personal experience both as a combat commander in Afghanistan and in Iraq, and is knowledgeable about the challenges that we face in the world.
And real quick, you have a problem giving him the waiver?
I understand some of my colleagues are raising a question about civilian control of the military. It's been more than 50 years since we've given such a waiver. I'll consider it. But I think it's important that President-elect Trump surround himself with a national security team with the kind of experience and character and success in the battlefield that General Mattis has demonstrated.
Senator Coons, thank you. Always good to talk with you, sir.
Great to be with you.
Up next, the Trump and Clinton teams get fired.